Happening now, Shasta County protesters asking local leaders to support a proposed behavioral health facility. We have a live report.
And new developments in the effort to stop illegal dumping in Orville, and why some city leaders think a new wildlife refuge is the answer.
And a standoff at a Chico strip mall ended in handcuffs today. Action News Now reporter Emilio Del Carpio was on the scene and brings us a live report.
Covering Northern California. You're watching Action News Now. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news, Tehama County Supervisor Patty Nolan has resigned in exchange for charges against her being dropped. The settlement was just announced by the district attorney, Matt Rogers.
Nolan was accused of secretly recording proceedings, removing confidential personnel materials, and misleading the media and public about drinking alcohol on the job. DA Rogers says the settlement also calls for Nolan to never run for supervisor again, and that she waive all civil and criminal claims against the county and its employees. The county agreed to pay her legal fees, totaling more than $137,000.
As the government shutdown continues into its 28th day, people are preparing for delays in SNAP benefits.
So the North State Food Bank is stepping up to meet the increased demand for food assistance. But as Action News Now reporter Shasta Pullen shows us, they do want your help.
I'm not quite sure how to ease their mind. We don't have enough food to provide families with all they need.
As the federal government shutdown continues, millions of Californians will face delays in receiving CalFresh benefits starting November 1st. That's where the Community Action Agency of Butte County, North State Food Bank, comes in. It serves about 15,000 people across Butte, Colusa, Glenn, Plumas, and Sierra counties. Tom Dearmore, the Chief Operations Officer, says 40,000 people in Butte County alone will see their benefits delayed starting next month. Governor Newsom is offering some help.
He has offered the use of the National Guard to help with logistics and things. I think what's more important to us is he has released some funding that would normally be stretched out for a year. He's releasing it to us now so that we can ramp up for this increased activity.
Dearmore says while this funding is critical and needed, it is limited to only California-grown food, which isn't ideal because the state is currently moving out of its peak growing season. He says they would need to outsource from places like Mexico, which is not allowed. Dearmore says that because of this, they are limited on the variety of foods they can give out now.
Because of this expected influx, we're going to focus on staples, beans, rice, lean proteins, just so that people can have several meals for their family in a week.
Dearmore says to ensure the food banks can offer a variety of food, they are urging community members to donate funds, donate food staples, or donate their time by volunteering at the food pantries. Dearmore tells me that, for example, a company named Sierra Nevada Cheese in Willows donated these large amounts of yogurt. Dearmore tells me that donations like this make all the difference.
And frankly, we need donations. Food donations are great, but we know the gaps and what we're short on, and so money will afford us the opportunity to get what we need.
Dearmore says anyone can come down to the food pantry. The next one will be on November 7th at 10 a.m. until noon at the Southside Community Center in Orville. Reporting in Butte County, Shasta Pullen, Action News Now.
The next food giveaway will be at the Southside Community Center in Orville, November 7th from 10 a.m. until noon. To learn more about how you can help the North State Food Bank, go to our website, click the news tab, and then news links. Well, it was a tense scene at the Pheasant Run Shopping Center today, where police say a woman barricaded herself inside her car there in Chico, refusing to come out for over an hour.
Well, Action News Now reporter Emilio Del Carpio was there when it happened, is there now at the location where this happened, joins us now live. And Emilio, officers, they were finally able to take her into custody.
That's right, Alan. Police say it all started as a disturbance call here behind me at this nail salon. I was here when it all unfolded. Take a look. You can see officers surrounding her car after they say she locked herself inside. It prompted a crisis negotiation response that lasted more than an hour. Police say the situation began around 10:45 this morning when the woman, identified as a 43-year-old Kate Stallone, was asked to leave that nail salon. When she returned a short time later, officers say she tried to back her vehicle into a patrol car before barricading herself inside. I spoke to one of the customers at that business who had an encounter with the suspect.
I was here to get my nails done, and I was approaching the nail salon, and a woman approached me out on the roadway, and she started talking to me, and I could tell there was some issues, maybe some mental problems. And then she followed me into the salon where she had been in previously, and was telling them that they had stole her phone, and she said she had called the police.
I was here as the Butte County Mobile Crisis Unit came in to help de-escalate the situation. After about an hour, you can see police using what they call a less lethal pepper ball device to get Stallone to comply. They say she was safely taken into custody and later booked into the Butte County Jail for reckless driving and resisting arrest. Police say that their goal was to end the situation safely, and they credit the crisis negotiation team with doing just that. Live in Chico, Emilio del Carpio, Action News Now.
Thanks, Emilio. And officers say no one was hurt during this incident. Now, a live look from the Sugarloaf Shasta Alert California camera.
Gorgeous out there as the sun sets, and our chief meteorologist Howie Gordon is tracking conditions for us on what's kind of I guess you call it a warm Tuesday evening for late October, Howie.
Yes, temperatures above average after being below just a few days ago, but a nice little warm up today. I'll give you those high temperatures officially during the 11 o'clock show, but some spots got close to 80 or maybe even arrived there. For the most part, though, we were in the 70s in the valley. Right now in Chester, we're at 63. El Churras at 60. Weaverville, 69 degrees, and a good portion of the valley right now already cooling down to around 70 degrees for the most part. Here's a look at yesterday's winds. These are yesterday. You saw some spots gusting to almost 30 miles per hour. Remember, this is Monday, the 27th. Here's a day later. This is current. Look at our winds. Very much on the lighter side as atmospheric pressure has balanced. When those storms moved off, high pressure moved in, that tugging and pulling, we saw the winds again, I just showed you a moment ago, close to 30 miles per hour yesterday. But here's what's going to happen. We're continuing to warm up, but overnight we'll cool down with a lack of cloud cover. We have that frost advisory for southern Trinity. We can see temperatures dropping down to 33 degrees, so protect people, plants, and pets. And we'll talk more about our beautiful warm-up coming up in just a few moments.
Thanks, Howie.
Well, protesters gathered outside the Shasta County administration offices today to protest the supervisor's 3-2 vote against the True North Behavioral Health proposed campus. Action News Now reporter Jesse Angelo is there live in Reading. Supporters say this project is important for the county, Jesse.
That's right, Haley. The group Arch Collaborative, who's behind the True North Health Center, says it will provide not only much needed mental health care treatment, but also over 200 healthcare jobs in the county. Supervisor Kevin Cry said that the reason that they voted against it wasn't about the healthcare side of it, but was about the fact that he felt that they didn't give enough financial information to let the county know how much they'd be on the hook for the coming decades. I did get a chance to speak with Arch Collaborative CEO Kimberly Johnson, who says that in spite of the vote against the project, they're still moving forward.
You know, we have a long ways to go. The Board of Supervisors meeting last Friday showed that, and Signature Healthcare has to feel confident in their investment here in the rural and frontier North State. And relationships with counties for any provider matters so much. And so my hope is that we can engage in some really healthy, good faith conversations and see restoration and resilience to Shasta County and the community as a whole.
Now, Arch Collaborative has gone ahead and filed for the funding. The whole facility would cost around $200 million, and so she hopes that they will be able to move forward with the project soon. Live in Reading, Jesse Angelo, Action News Now.
All right, thank you, Jesse. We're going to have a full report tonight at 11.
Orville city leaders are making progress as they work to address illegal dumping around and in the Feather River. And Action News Now reporter Bea Barbosa shows us how the city is now looking into designating that area as a wildlife refuge.
Councilmember Sean Weber brought a proposal before the council at their last meeting to turn this stretch of the Feather River from Table Mountain Bridge to the Highway 70 bridge into a city park. But during their discussions, it was proposed that instead of a city park, city officials should try to establish it as a wildlife refuge due to the sensitive salmon population here. This section of the river is where tens of thousands of salmon come from the Pacific Ocean to spawn. I spoke with Councilmember Weber about where things stand with this effort. He says the City Council has directed staff to look into how establishing a wildlife refuge can be accomplished.
One of the things that we could do if we designate this as a wildlife refuge is we could actually go after federal grant dollars to get enhanced beautification elements, remove non-native plant species to free it up to have better visibility and less wildfire risk, and also some lighting options.
This comes after the City Council drafted a letter to Governor Gavin Newsom asking for state support for the city's initiative to preserve the waterways as salmon spawning grounds earlier this month. Councilmember Weber says that he thinks this could be a solution to not only the dumping problem impacting this ecosystem, but also improving a public space for community members to enjoy in Orville. Bea Barbosa, Action News Now.
And while city staff are working to get this designation for wildlife refuge, we are told it could be months before any action will be taken.
A new development to report in the recovery of the Reach helicopter team members injured in the crash on Highway 50. Reach Air Medical Services says that pilot Chad Millward was released from the hospital this week, while paramedic Margaret Dee Davis was discharged last week. Both have been moved to inpatient rehabilitation facilities. And a celebration of life for Susie Smith, who did not survive, will be on November 14th at the Reading Civic Auditorium at 6 p.m., though the doors open at 5.
We'll look at how local nature lovers swap seeds in hopes of helping local bird populations.